I never imagined that a single choice could unravel everything I once held dear. For years, I had lived a life of comfort with Daniel, my devoted husband, a man whose love was quiet but unwavering. He worked tirelessly to ensure I never wanted for anything, his smile always gentle, his patience endless. I should have been happy, I should have cherished every moment with him, but somewhere along the line, a reckless desire crept into my heart, a desire for excitement, for danger, for someone who could stir the dormant thrill within me. That someone was Ryan, Daniel's rival in business and, to my foolish heart, the embodiment of everything I thought I lacked. He was daring, bold, magnetic, everything Daniel was not, or so I convinced myself. It began innocently enough, a chance meeting at a gala, where Ryan's sharp humor and intoxicating confidence pulled me in. I told myself I was only flirting, that no real harm could come from a few stolen glances and subtle touches. But every encounter with him felt electric, as though I had stepped into a world I'd been craving without realizing it. And then the inevitable happened. I crossed a line, once, twice, until it became a secret affair that consumed me from within. The guilt gnawed at me, but I silenced it with promises of new beginnings. I convinced myself Daniel deserved better, that I had outgrown him, that Ryan could offer me the passion Daniel never had. My deceit escalated, the lies piling up like bricks in a wall I hoped would shield me from remorse. Finally, I made the most destructive decision of my life. I left Daniel and married Ryan, thinking I was stepping into liberation, into a life of excitement and fulfillment. For a while, it seemed like I had one. Ryan showered me with attention, with wealth, with the illusion of adventure. I painted my guilt over with champagne nights and whispered promises, telling myself Daniel would heal, that he would move on. But karma, I would soon learn, is not something you can cheat. The first sign came subtly, almost imperceptibly. Ryan's charm, which had drawn me in so completely, began to crack. He became demanding, critical, possessive in ways I had never anticipated. The man I had idealized for his audacity turned out to be volatile, impatient, cruel at times. The thrill I had once mistaken for passion now felt like a cage of my own making. My laughter, once easy and light, began to feel hollow. Then came the betrayal I never saw coming. Ryan, confident as ever, believed his power over me absolute. He boasted, careless and arrogant, about a business venture that had failed disastrously. His arrogance, the very thing that had attracted me, now threatened to ruin us. I watched helplessly as our fortune dwindled, our lavish lifestyle crumbling. The people I thought were allies turned away, and Ryan's business rivals circled, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And in the midst of this chaos, Daniel appeared, not as the quiet, submissive man I had left, but as someone transformed by his own pain. He had rebuilt his life after my betrayal, stronger and wiser. He had forgiven himself, even if he had never forgiven me, and in doing so, he had become unshakable. News of Ryan's failure reached him, and the man I had scorned without a second thought now stood poised to recover everything we had lost together, something I had foolishly abandoned. The final blow came unexpectedly. Ryan, in his fury over business losses and his fragile ego, turned cruelly toward me. The lavish life I had once adored now became a prison. I realized, painfully, that my desires had blinded me, the thrill of passion had cost me the love of a man who had truly cherished me. In seeking excitement, I had stumbled into ruin, and Ryan's betrayal mirrored my own. He had never loved me as Daniel had, he had loved the conquest, the illusion, the trophy. I tried to cling to my new life, to salvage something from the wreckage, but every effort felt futile. Friends and family I had once relied upon distanced themselves, whispers of my betrayal following me wherever I went. The social circles I had entered with Ryan now laughed behind closed doors, the women I had envied turning their eyes away, disgusted. Karma had arrived, silent yet merciless, and I was left to face its full weight. I thought about Daniel constantly. The man I had taken for granted, whose devotion had never wavered, had become the symbol of everything I had lost. I wondered if he ever thought of me, if he ever remembered the love we had shared, the quiet evenings and tender words I had abandoned for a fleeting thrill. But he was gone from my life now, protected by his dignity and resilience, while I faced the consequences of my recklessness alone. Inevitably, Ryan's facade crumbled completely. His business collapsed entirely, creditors came knocking, and the man who had seemed invincible became desperate and paranoid. He turned on me with venom, blaming me for his failures, and I realized with bitter clarity that I had married not love but a mirage. I had sought passion and excitement and found only betrayal, misery, and isolation. I often replay the choices in my mind, each one a dagger twisting in my heart. Leaving Daniel, chasing Ryan, indulging my selfish desires, each step seemed smaller than the ruin it brought. The life I thought I deserved was gone, replaced by regret and the harsh clarity of karma. Every luxury, every thrill, every whispered promise had turned to ash. In my quietest moments, I see Daniel's face, not with anger but with sorrowful pity. I know he is living fully, even without me, while I am left to navigate the wreckage of my own making. The man who once loved me unconditionally now exists in my memory as the embodiment of everything I threw away for a dangerous illusion. Karma, patient and unrelenting, has shown me the truth: no thrill, no passion, no deceit can ever replace genuine love. Now, I live each day as a cautionary tale, to myself and to anyone who would consider betraying devotion for desire. I cheated, I betrayed, and I married a man I thought could give me life, only to discover that my own choices were my undoing. Karma does not strike with immediate vengeance, it waits, quiet and inevitable, until the truth cannot be avoided. And I am learning, painfully, that some losses are permanent, and some hearts, once broken by selfishness, never fully heal.